Somewhere deep in your mind, there's a character you've been playing your whole life. It's been shaping every decision, every relationship, even the dreams you have at night, and you might not even know its name. This isn't some mystical or horoscope thing. It's one of psychology's most fascinating ideas, Carl Jung's 12 archetypes, a framework that's helped artists, leaders, healers, and everyday people finally understand why they feel stuck and how to live a life that actually feels like their own. Stay with me until the end, because once you discover your archetype, you'll start seeing your life with the kind of clarity most people only find after decades of trial and error. But before I explain what the 12 archetypes are, let's talk about the invisible script running your life, the one that makes you feel pulled towards certain choices, even when logic says, don't do it. The one that whispers, this is who you are, even when you've tried to change. Years ago, a friend told me she kept sabotaging her career. Every time she was offered a promotion, she'd suddenly feel drained, lose interest, or quit altogether. Everyone around her thought she was irresponsible. But what she couldn't see was that she was living out a role, one she didn't choose consciously. She wasn't lazy. She was what Jung would call the explorer. Her soul needed freedom more than status. A corner office was her version of a cage. Until she learned that about herself, every good opportunity felt like a trap. We've been taught that purpose is something you find by setting goals, working hard, and following a straight line to success. But if you've ever achieved a goal and still felt empty, you know that's not the whole truth. Purpose is not about forcing yourself into the world's idea of success. It's about uncovering the archetypal energy you've been carrying all along. And once you name it, you can direct it, instead of letting it run the show in the shadows. You've been cast in a role since the day you were born. Your upbringing, your cultural background, even the books and movies you loved as a kid, they've all been training you to see life through a certain lens. Some people live their whole lives without realizing they're just acting out that script. Others wake up to it and rewrite it. That's what we're about to do together. But here's the twist. Jung didn't say you're only one archetype. You might have a main role, a sidekick energy, and even a shadow character, the part of yourself you've been avoiding. And when you start to see them, your whole life story starts making sense. In the next part, I'm going to introduce you the 12 archetypes, but not in the polished self-help book way you might expect. You'll see the noble side and the shadow side, because even the most beautiful life purpose can be hijacked by ego, by fear, and sometimes by the very systems we think we're here to fix. When Jung talked about archetypes, he wasn't describing good or bad people. He was talking about deep human energies. Each one has a light side, the life-giving potential, and a shadow side, the part that can twist purpose into something destructive. In our modern world of political spin, corporate greed, and cultural manipulation, these archetypes can become powerful tools for truth or dangerous weapons for control. Number 1, the innocent. Their light purpose is to preserve the pure vision of what life can be. They live with childlike wonder, trust, and joy, reminding others of the beauty in simple things. Think of activists who truly believe in peace, spiritual teachers who radiate unconditional love, or artists who create purely to inspire hope. The innocent's gift is their ability to see goodness where others see only cynicism. Their shadow side is dangerous naivety. In a corrupt system, innocents are prime targets, easily manipulated by polished speeches, feel-good advertising, or moral-sounding political slogans. They can unknowingly spread propaganda, defend unethical leaders, or dismiss truth-seekers as negative simply because they bring up uncomfortable facts. The shadow innocent helps maintain the illusion, selling the smile of the system while the machine grinds on behind closed doors. Number 2. The everyman. Their light purpose is to create unity and belonging. They value shared experiences and fight against elitism or exclusion. In communities, they are the connectors, the people who bring neighbors together, the co-workers who make the office feel human, the friends who check in on everyone. They remind us that no one should be left out and that all voices matter. Their shadow side is conformity at all costs. In the presence of corruption, the shadow everyman becomes an unthinking follower, defending harmful traditions simply because that's how it's always been done. They can shame truth-tellers for rocking the boat or silence dissent because it threatens group harmony. This keeps the status quo intact, allowing lies and abuse to continue under the comforting blanket of going along to get along. Number 3, the hero. Their light purpose is courage in action, standing up to injustice, protecting the vulnerable, and inspiring others to overcome their own challenges. Heroes can be whistleblowers exposing corporate fraud, medics rushing into disaster zones, or ordinary people who refuse to back down from what's right. They lead by example, showing that fear can be overcome. Their shadow side is an obsession with victory and personal glory. In the modern world, this energy is easily hijacked, turning heroes into tools for the military-industrial complex, influencers of manufactured outrage, or enforcers of corrupt policies disguised as protection. The shadow hero crushes dissent in the name of saving people, keeping the cycle of conflict alive and profitable for those in power. Number 4, the caregiver. Their light purpose is to nurture, heal, and protect. They are the parents who put their children's needs before their own, the nurses who treat patients with dignity, the friends who stay up all night to help someone in crisis. The caregiver brings compassion into places where it's been forgotten, offering emotional safety and unconditional support. Their shadow side is enabling harm in the name of help. Shadow caregivers may overprotect to the point of control, use guilt to keep people dependent, or continue supporting abusive systems for the greater good. Large charities and global aid organizations can be infiltrated by this shadow, maintaining dependency and poverty instead of solving root problems, all while presenting a compassionate public image that hides the exploitation behind it. Number 5, the explorer. Their light purpose is to expand human potential through discovery and freedom. They're the travelers who uncover forgotten cultures, the innovators who break new ground, the spiritual seekers who push beyond dogma. Explorers inspire us to question boundaries and embrace the unknown, helping humanity grow beyond fear. Their shadow side is restless escapism and avoidance of responsibility. In a corrupt world, the shadow explorer is used to sell distraction, endless vacations, consumer adventures, and a lifestyle of self-indulgence that keeps people chasing personal highs while ignoring systemic problems. Corporations love the shadow explorer because they turn rebellion into a product, keeping people too busy finding themselves to challenge the system shaping their reality. Number 6, the rebel. Their light purpose is to dismantle what is broken and oppressive. The rebel doesn't just complain, they challenge, disrupt, and pave the way for new systems. They're the activists exposing political corruption, the whistleblowers risking their safety to reveal the truth, the innovators tearing down industries that harm the planet. They stand for freedom, justice, and radical change. Their shadow side is destruction without vision. The shadow rebel can be driven by chaos, vengeance, or ego rather than true liberation. In modern times, this energy is often manipulated by power structures to create controlled opposition, movements that appear revolutionary but ultimately funnel people back into the same system. The shadow rebel can also tear down what works, leaving a power vacuum easily filled by even greater corruption. Number 7, the lover. Their light purpose is to connect deeply, celebrate beauty, and bring harmony through love. Lovers are the romantics who nurture intimacy, the artists who express the human heart, the community leaders who foster empathy between strangers. Their gift is uniting people through the power of emotional connection. Their shadow side is attachment turned into manipulation. The shadow lover can be seduced by vanity, consumerism, and the pursuit of pleasure at any cost. In a corrupt system, lover energy is exploited by advertising, pornography industries, and political propaganda that weaponizes emotion to sway opinions. The shadow lover's obsession with appearance and desirability keeps the public distracted, docile, and endlessly consuming, all while thinking they're chasing love. Number 8, the creator. Their light purpose is to bring visions into reality, to imagine and build what has never existed before. Creators are the inventors, filmmakers, designers, and writers whose work reshapes culture. They innovate from the heart, producing beauty, functionality, and meaning that enriches human life. Their shadow side is artistry serving the wrong master. Shadow creators may compromise their vision for profit, become perfectionists who never finish anything, or produce tools that harm rather than help. In our modern world, creative talent is often captured by corporations, making addictive apps, manipulative algorithms, or entertainment designed to dull awareness rather than awaken it. The creator's energy, when corrupted, becomes a machine for distraction, propaganda, and cultural engineering. Number 9, the jester. Their light purpose is to bring joy, lighten heavy hearts, and remind us not to take life too seriously. Jesters are the comedians, entertainers, and social satirists who use humor to heal, provoke thought, and expose hypocrisy. They break tension and unite people through laughter. Their shadow side is mockery without compassion. The shadow jester distracts the public from real issues through endless entertainment, bread and circuses for the digital age. They may ridicule truth-tellers, normalize cruelty, or trivialize injustice. In a corrupt system, the shadow jester becomes a weapon, turning political debate into late-night comedy sketches that make everything seem like a joke, so nothing changes. Number 10, the sage. Their light purpose is to seek and share truth. Sages are the philosophers, scientists, historians, and spiritual teachers who dedicate their lives to understanding reality and guiding others toward wisdom. They inspire critical thinking, self-awareness, and an appreciation for knowledge. Their shadow side is knowledge without morality. The shadow sage hoards information, manipulates data, or presents complexity in ways that confuse rather than clarify. In modern society, the shadow sage is found in corrupted academia, corporate think tanks, and media experts who bend truth to serve political or financial interests. This archetype's shadow keeps the public misinformed or overwhelmed, unable to act because they no longer know what's real. Number 11, the magician. Their light purpose is transformation, turning knowledge, creativity, and intention into real change. The magician understands patterns, connects unseen dots, and can shift reality by showing people a new way of seeing. They are healers who guide deep personal change, scientists whose discoveries save lives, and visionaries who inspire revolutions in consciousness. True magicians awaken human potential and dissolve limitations. Their shadow side is manipulation of reality itself. Shadow magicians can distort truth, weaponize secrets, and use psychological or technological tools to control perception. In the modern world, this archetype's dark side thrives in black-budget science, media spin rooms, and intelligence agencies, shaping narratives, manufacturing consent, and even influencing entire populations without their awareness. Shadow magicians turn spiritual wisdom into cult control, turn scientific breakthroughs into weapons, and turn truth into a carefully designed illusion that benefits the few. When this energy is corrupted, it doesn't just lie. It rewrites reality to make the lie seem like the only truth. Number 12, the ruler. Their light purpose is to create order, stability, and systems that protect the collective. The ruler, at their best, uses power as a service, ensuring fairness, security, and justice. They are leaders who listen, set wise laws, and act for the greater good rather than personal gain. A light-aligned ruler builds infrastructure that sustains life, defends the vulnerable, and protects truth. Their shadow side is the lust for absolute control. Shadow rulers build empires not to serve, but to dominate. They manipulate laws to benefit the elite, use fear to maintain obedience, and consolidate power in ways that strip freedom from the masses. In the modern world, this shadow lives in corporate monopolies, authoritarian governments, and global banking systems that quietly control resources and dictate policy. Shadow rulers often ally with shadow magicians. One shapes the perception, the other enforces the system, ensuring the pyramid of power remains untouched. This is where corruption becomes systemic, hidden behind order and security, while the actual goal is the preservation of dominance at any cost. So now that you've heard all 12 archetypes, their light purposes and their shadows, you're probably wondering, okay, but which one am I? That's what we're going to explore in part 3, so don't go anywhere. Here's the truth. Most people don't live as just one archetype. We carry a primary archetype, the role that feels most natural, that colors our decisions and desires. But we also carry supporting archetypes, like secondary characters in our story. And then, of course, we all have shadow aspects, the sides we try to hide, but which often leak out in unconscious ways. Ask yourself, what energy has followed me my whole life? When I was a child, what role did I naturally play? The caregiver, the explorer, the joker, the dreamer? What kinds of people or stories light me up? The hero's journey, the wise sage, the rebel outsider? Your archetype isn't about what you want to be, but what you can't help but be. It's the script you've been acting out since day one. For example, if freedom calls you louder than stability, you might be an explorer. If love and intimacy drive your choices, you might be a lover. If truth feels more important than comfort, you might be a sage. If responsibility and structure make you feel safe, you might be a ruler. Notice the patterns, not just in what you do, but in what motivates you. That's your archetype speaking. Life isn't static, it's dynamic. You might carry one archetype as your core, but different chapters of life activate others. It's not about boxing yourself in, but about recognizing the roles you're playing. And sometimes your secondary archetypes are exactly what balance your primary one. Pay attention to the archetypes you resist or dislike, because that is where your shadow hides. For example, someone who despises the ruler might secretly fear their own relationship with power. Someone who laughs at the jester might secretly be afraid of playfulness. Shadows are the archetypes we push away, but which influence us the most when unacknowledged. Understanding your archetypes isn't about labeling yourself, it's about reclaiming authorship of your story. When you know which roles you're living and which shadows are pulling your strings, you can finally step into your purpose consciously. That's when you stop being a character trapped in someone else's script and start becoming the storyteller of your own life. Before you go, I invite you to take a moment and write an affirmation in the comments that reflects your archetype. For example, I live with courage as the hero, or I create with love as the creator. Better yet, drop your own affirmation. When we share them, we don't just remind ourselves, we create a ripple of awareness that inspires others too. And if this journey expanded your mind, helped you spot your archetype, or gave you a new way of seeing the hidden patterns shaping our reality, then make sure to subscribe to Fractal Wisdom. Because together, when we live from the light side of our archetypes, we don't just change our own story, we change the story of humanity.